All right, what's up, y'all? So, free agency started tonight, or it started at 5 o'clock. It was an action-packed day. A lot of moves, a lot of re-signings. Honestly, I thought it would been like a little bit more movement, but it was like a lot of news, like a congested amount of news in one day. A lot of people re-signed, signing new teams. It wasn't really like the big free agents we've seen in the past, where all the star names are moving around, but a lot of good role players either re-signed with teams or moved on. Before we can get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. So today we're gonna be talking about free agency winners and losers from day one of free agency. Um, if we can get into it, right into it, Max, you want to go ahead with your first winner?
Yeah, I'll talk about my winners. It was a lot of movement today, obviously, but like Latif said, like I feel like there's a lot of guys who I thought were going to be moving to different teams who kind of just stayed put. Um, so I'd say a lot of, I mean, I guess if you think some guys like I think some people might think Kyle Kuzma resigning the Wizards is a winner just because they get an actual player. Like, no, I think that thing sucks.
That's
Um,
trash.
Chris
I hated
Middleton.
that, bro. I was very, very irritated when I saw that. Like Kuzma, I thought you trying to compete for a championship. Like, what are we
Like,
doing?
I don't know, like, because they're like trying to hype up, like, oh, how about this duo, Jordan Poole? No, like that's the most inefficient duo. I'm sorry, that's terrible. I don't know what the Bulls were doing. The Bucks, I get Chris Middleton, you get him on like less money over every
Mhm.
year, but you're still locked in for a long contract. Like I wish they'd look to trade him, but they won't. But I think a couple teams obviously did win today. One is Detroit. Gave up Joe Harris, or they got Joe Harris and 2 second round picks for 2 second round picks. So basically got Joe Harris for nothing. And then they also just picked up Monte Morris. So just getting some experience shooting around Cade and Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey said did not shoot well this year. Um, Cade just facilitating the offense needs shooters around him, and they're shopping Bojan right now. They said for a first round pick. Do you see that?
Yeah,
So I don't know. Maybe a contender's looking to pay for a first round pick. Um, with how the money's going around right now, though, I don't know if anyone's gonna have money to sign a guy like or keep Bojan's contract on the books. Even though he's a free agent, I think next year. But I really like what Detroit did, just getting two shooters to support Cade. I think can help, and especially with whatever other pieces they can kind of get some veteran help down the bench for the next couple of days. And my other winner is the Lakers. Obviously, they let go of Troy Brown, let go of Mo Bamba, let go of Dennis Schroeder. Right, Mo Bamba not so much, but the other two were good role players for the playoff run. Um, Dennis Schroeder was really good in some games in the playoffs, defensively and offensively. But picking up guys like Torian Prince, picking up guys like Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent's contract is crazy. 3 years, 33 million. That's kind of a steal. Picking up Cam Reddish on the veteran minimum, re-signing Rui, like really got some very good depth. Even got a little younger, which is kind of the Lakers' big issue the past couple of years. They have no future, but they've gotten some younger pieces to build around. Had a good draft. Got Cam Reddish, who I don't know. I think it's people are hating on it. I know Jaden's kind of hating on it a little bit. Um, I don't know. I like just getting youth, and obviously getting shooting does not hurt at all when you have LeBron James in your team to facilitate. So I think the only issue is I don't know. Austin Reeves, you have to resign him. D'Lo, I think's off now because you put so much money in other places. I'd still like to get another point guard. I think I'd still like to see the Lakers go out and get some other point guard, but just based off day one, yes. I mean, who else you got?
they
I
have
don't
so
think
many guards.
I don't
They
think
need
they
a
all.
center. They need a center bad. They
I
need a
don't.
backup center bad. They do not need a point guard. We
I
have
don't
enough
see Austin
guards.
Reeves point guard.
They
So
they have enough guards. They have enough
Davidson on
guards.
your one. Who's your backup?
Huh?
Who's your backup one?
Gabe Vincent is the backup. I think Austin Reeves should run the one. There's no reason that we need another guard.
Uh,
They need a center, and they also still can sign D'Lo. They still have the money to do that. So he could probably run
Well,
the
they
one.
signed Cam Reddish on the vet min, and they signed
They still have the money to sign
they s-
Austin Reeves and D'Lo.
they signed Gabe Vincent on the trade exception they got.
I don't know what they signed him for, but it was
It was
probably
like
the
some sort of like
Miller.
trade exception or
It was
something.
I think it was Milo's exception. It's
I
11 million, so it's
forgot
closer to
that, but
12. I think they still. I don't know what they got, but I think no, they still got the mid level section. Yeah,
I didn't think
I
they
think they
had
just
12
signed.
million
They
dollars.
signed Gabe Vincent with regular cap space.
They got bird rights though on D'Lo, don't they?
No, they don't.
Oh,
He's an
never mind. I don't know how they signed D'Lo then.
he's an unrestricted free agent. They have the money to still sign him. They only offer Austin Reeves $13 million. They gave Rui $17 million. A team hasn't really offered Austin Reeves yet, so he can still get a better offer that we would have to match. But as far
I
as
know
it goes right now, we can still sign D'Lo, we can still sign Rui, and we can still sign Austin Reeves.
I know Detroit and San Antonio. I feel like were two names I kept hearing getting thrown around with Austin Reeves. And if Detroit keeps filling their needs up already, I'm not worried about them. San Antonio, they have Manny moves, so if they got the money to go throw a bag at him, I guess. But I mean, we've seen this year role players getting a lot of money. Bruce Brown getting 45 for 2 years, um, and obviously we'll talk about other people. But I don't know, money's getting thrown around crazy. I would not be surprised if someone throws a bag at him.
My biggest winner was obviously the Lakers. They was the biggest winners of free agency in day one. They got Cam Reddish, who I think he still has some potential. He's a top 10 pick. It didn't work in Atlanta. It didn't work on the Blazers, but I think if anybody's gonna get him going, it's gonna be Phil Handy. We seen what he did with Rui. We seen what he did with Austin Reeves. We see what he did with Lonnie Walker. He's great at developing jump shooters. He's great at developing players in general. I think we can still develop Cam Reddish. I think he still has some potential in this league. Gabe Vincent is a great role player. He's a sniper. We needed more shooting off the bench. He's a good ball handler as well. Can take the pressure off of Austin Reeves and LeBron and other ball handlers on the team. We got Taurean Prince, who is amazing on defense. He's a 3-and-D player. When we're going to have Jared Vanderbilt and Taurean Prince out there, it's going to be great for our defense, especially on the perimeter. So I love what the Lakers did in free agency. They definitely were the best team in day one. I also want to give some love as a winner to the Mavs. They brought back Kyrie on $42 million. I don't think that's too crazy. Kyrie deserves that type of money. They also got Seth Curry to improve their shooting, and he's a familiar face. He's been in the Mavericks before. And I think the entire Mavericks offseason was amazing. Like from the day they tanked that game, the offseason has been amazing. They got Derek Lively. They got Olivier Maxson Prosper. They brought in Rashawn Holmes. So I think this team is going to be decent. I got them probably being like the 5th seed. I think they're going to be a lot more improved than they were last year. I want to get to my loser. That Fred VanVleet contract was the worst contract I've seen all day outside of probably what's his name, Jeremy Grant. But I literally hated that Fred VanVleet contract. I have no idea the direction the Rockets are going in. You just dropped the Amen Thompson, who's going to be your starting point guard, but then you pay Fred VanVleet $43 million. Like, are you trying to stunt his growth? You have to start Fred VanVleet if he's making $43 million. So you're going to have Amen coming off the bench for at least 2 to 3 seasons. I don't know if they're going to do that to develop him, but I don't know what direction the Rockets are going in. You have a young core. You obviously need veterans, but you don't have to overpay for them. You don't have to overpay for Fred VanVleet, who shot 39% from the field last year. Like, Fred VanVleet is going to bring culture. He's going to bring shooting and defense, but $43 million is insane. Like, insane. We saw other teams did their rebuild, like the Magic, the Thunder, not have to overpay for veterans, and they're still going to have good rebuilds. I just feel like this deal automatically makes the Rockets loser of free agency. It was a terrible deal. It was a huge overpay. Fred VanVleet is nowhere near a player that deserves $43 million. Not even close. I would have given him like $25 million. I don't think he deserves $30 million. Fred VanVleet is not even a French All-Star player. Fred VanVleet is not a top 50 player. I don't know if Fred VanVleet is a top 60 player. You give him $43 million is insane. So I don't know what the Rockets are doing. I don't know what Raphael Stone were doing. They have a great young core, but they probably gonna sign someone like Dylan Brooks. Still have $21 million to spend. I get it. They're trying to bring culture in with Ime Udoka, but Ime Udoka already brings culture in. He brings that toughness. He brings that defense. He knows he's gonna hold them players accountable, like Steven Silas did. But that was a huge overpay. I hated that move for them.
Yeah, I agree. My losers were Portland for a similar reason, but at the same time, like I feel like I don't know. I talked to or whatever. I've talked to Latif about it. I think the 3-year contract it sucks, but 3 years looks so much better than 5. The bag that Jeremy Grant got, I think he's getting like what 32 million a year, 32, 35 million a year. On a team where you're trying to contend, on a team where you're trying to keep Dame around, I don't know how signing Jeremy Grant keeps you in this playoff contention. Keeps you. I don't even know if they make the playoffs. Like with this team, there's glaring holes. They're just a crowded backcourt. Unless they trade Dame, they have 4 backcourt pieces. Someone's coming off the bench. Like I don't know. You have so much money locked up now for years with him there. I, I don't know. It made no sense to me. I think there were so many better options you could have go and thrown a bag at. Different forward options you could have tried to trade. Um, Anthony Simons could have been on the trade block. You could have traded Dame and just moved from there and started a rebuild. I don't know why Jeremy Grant. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, Latif. Has Jeremy Grant ever showed you that he could be a guy that's a $35 million, $30 million player?
Nowhere even close. I don't think he's not even the French all-star player for me. His best years were like after Denver. He had a good. I'm not gonna lie, Jeremy Grant is a good player. He had a good year last year, but $32 million is a gross overpay for him. 5 years, $160 million is a gross overpay for Jeremy Grant. Damon already told you guys that he wanted to win a championship. He wanted to compete for championships, and you responded with signing Jeremy Grant to a 5-year, $160 million deal. Portland is delusional. I am so sad for Scoot. I don't know what his place is in this franchise because you have him sitting behind Dame probably. I don't know if they're going to start Anthony Simons, but this team is in a weird place where they don't know if they want to contend and they don't know if they want to rebuild for the future. And the contending part is not even an option. This team's still going to be one of the worst teams in the conference after signing Scoot, after drafting Scoot, after getting Anthony Simons, another deal, after re-signing Jeremy Grant. This team is still going to be very, very bad. I feel like it's probably going to be a play-in team at the best. So I don't know why when Dame tell you, I want to contend, I want to have a shot at a championship, your response is, let's re-sign Jeremy Grant for $32 million a year. It's delusional. It makes no type of sense. Portland is probably the biggest loser. It's either them or the Rockets. So it made no sense for me. I don't know what they're doing over there.
Yeah.
I feel the worst for Scoot.
I think it's even worse because like you're just stunting growth of Scoot and also of Anthony Simons and Shaden Sharp. You got a crowded backcourt, right? You got 4 guys, you got 2 guard positions, unless you play 3, but you're playing very small in a big NBA, right? Like I don't think you're doing that. So you're throwing what? Jeremy Grant, you put him at the 4.
He played
If
4 this year.
Healthy, you got him at the 5. So maybe you do go 3-guard lineup or something like that. Try and throw someone out there, but like. I mean, I don't think Scoot or Anthony Simons can really shine when you have so many other mouths to feed. You know what I'm saying? Like, Shaden Sharp was a project. Played great last year for a rookie. I don't know if we see this like those same glimpses because if you pay a guy $32 million, he's gonna get the ball, he's gonna get shots off, right? Dame's gonna get his. Obviously, I don't think there's enough basketball to go around. So, I don't know. Portland, they could have been in my opinion, they could have set themselves up so well if they would have traded the 3rd pick and gone with Dame. I think it would have been a bad idea, but you would have been in a better spot than right now. If you would have traded Dame, you would have been great set up for the future. But I don't know. I don't get that. So them and Houston. I think you could have spent that money in other ways, but at least you still have some money left to spend. They could still go out and get somebody. I don't know if you could say the same about Portland. I think they're kind of locked up with money. So.
Another winner I wanted to mention was the Cavaliers. They signed Max Strus for 4 years, $64 million. I think what's it like 16 a year?
16, yeah.
So that's a pretty decent deal for Max Strus. He's proved to be a good role player in the playoffs at certain times. He can get it going for you. The Cavs desperately needed spacing. So getting Max Strus and getting James Niang was great signings for the Cavs. I think they were definitely a winner today. Notable other contracts like we talked about.
Can I say one more loser? I was talking about it. I thought Miami, day one, Miami was a loser. They lost Strus, they lost Vincent, 2 guys who, especially Gabe Vincent, came up huge for them in their playoff run. I get they got Josh Richardson, doesn't really replace much for me. They re-signed Kevin Love, which was good. He had good minutes for him, but unless they get Dame, like I don't know how they roll back out with this team and think that they're going to end up in the same spot. So. They need to seriously address those issues. They need to get some role players back in there. They need to get a number 2, something, because they've just been losing everything now this summer.
Did Kyle Kuzma sign a 4-year 102?
Yeah.
4 years 102. Is that what he signed?
It was
let me verify.
25 and a half.
25 and a half a year.
Yeah. Honestly, I thought he wanted 30 mil. So I don't know if he just gave up or if he didn't think he was going to get that in the market, but I thought 30 mil was his number. But I don't know.
I have no idea. I have no idea why Kuzma re-signed with the Wizards. I get it. You wanted your money. You get 25 mil. You're going to get the green light. You're going to have the ball in your hand. But I really thought he wanted to contend. I thought he might have went to the Kings. I thought he might have went to the Pacers. I thought he might have went to Detroit. Places like that where at least if they got young cores, they on an up and up trying to contend. You know what I'm saying? Staying in Washington just makes no type of sense for me. Like, you're still gonna be one of the worst teams in the NBA. Yes, you get your money, but like, you're an NBA champion. You want to go win another one? Like, what are your goals in for an NBA? I don't get it. That was one of the another head scratcher for me. I don't get why. I don't get why we didn't talk about this yet, but I don't get why the Kings re-signed Harrison Barnes. That was stupid. He literally, like, you could have upgraded him. I feel like Kuzma is definitely an upgrade for him. Harrison Barnes is obviously a better defender, but I think at this point in their career, Kuzma is a better scorer. And you're going to just go all in the offense, you might as well sign Kuzma. Like, it made no sense. He's only making $7 million more than Harrison Barnes. So
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I think there was like, even if you wanted to go to a bad team like Kuzma, like, why not go to like a bad team with some sort of promising future? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what you said, Detroit. Honestly, go to San Antonio. Like try and get on some young team who has some promise, who has some sort of future ahead of them. Washington probably has the worst future in the league, right? Like, I don't think anybody's competing with them. I know we talked about Portland. There's no way you can't say Washington has the worst. Like, Washington has so much money tied up in Jordan Poole. Now they got money tied up in Kuzma. They'll hopefully get a first round pick, right? They'll hopefully get a top 5, top 3 pick this year. But they have no young pieces. They have Tyus Jones, but he's old. Corey Kispert hasn't shown anything. Danny Avdia, he had an okay year. Johnny Davis was terrible. Like, they don't have they don't have any young pieces to really build off of that aren't making $30 million. So I get you're gonna get your money and you're gonna get your 30 shots a game, but like, I don't know. They're the most dysfunctional team in the NBA almost, it seems like right now. But I guess maybe Portland. Portland might be worse in my opinion. But
I also want to mention, as losers, the Raptors. I don't know what they're doing. You lost Fred VanVleet. You brought in Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder is not a starting point guard in the NBA. I feel like, personally, I feel he's a backup. Gave him $13 million a year. I think that's decent amount for him, I guess. Jakob Poeltl, 4 years, $80 million. He's a good starting center. So I'm not going to act like 20 minutes is crazy, but I feel like this team needs to go towards a rebuild. This team is very, very mid. It's very, very mediocre. It's not going to get any better. Re-signing Gary Trent, what they're about to do, re-signing Jakob Poeltl, bringing in Dennis Schroeder. It's just not a direction they need to go in. They need to go into a rebuild. I've been saying this for the longest. They think they can compete right now in this NBA. They cannot. This team is very mid, very, very mediocre. So I didn't like what they did today at all.
I didn't hate it. I don't know. I didn't hate it as much. I guess.
The center market is bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't think Jakob Poeltl's worth $20 million a year, but I mean, they re-signed him. I agree. I think they got to pick a direction to stick to it. They can't just keep staying mid. But another loser for me, I think, is Philly. Like, I don't know, the whole James Harden situation. Like, if they don't get some sort of all-star in return for James Harden, I've seen like 3-team trades, or if he goes to the Clippers and the Trailblazers. But yeah, like, I don't know. I don't see how this does not end with James Harden leaving and then Embiid demanding a trade in like 2 years. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Philly's bound to implode at some point in time. So I don't know. I think Philly, like, they really got to put something together this year, because if they put another star next to Embiid and it doesn't work out, then Philly's got to understand that the problem is Embiid. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, they could not build a functional roster around him, whatever. Like, Embiid just, it's not going to work out with Embiid in Philly. So it depends on who they bring in. I don't think there's many guys you're going to bring in, and that's immediately going to be better than Harden and push them over the top. But yeah, I think watching that situation, I'm very curious to see what happens. If they just go for straight depth and try and trade for a package where they can get back a lot of useful players, or try and go star heavy again.
Also, notably, Bruce Brown signed a 2-year, 23 million? $22.5 million deal, 2 years, $40 million or something. I don't know what it was.
It was 45 over 2 years.
Yeah, so I mean, they got a team option after the first year, so they have a out, so it's not that bad. But I think Bruce Brown is not. I don't think Bruce Brown is a starting point guard either. I think he should be back up.
Bruce Brown's now worth $22.5 million, but Indiana's not really going to spend the money anyways. So it's kind of like, I don't hate the contract at all.
They have, like, it's in a new CBA, they have to spend 90% of their cap.
Yeah, so like, it's not. It's not bad. Like, good for Bruce Brown.
They don't need guards. I feel like they didn't need guards.
But worst comes to worst, he can help like get some experience with Tyrese. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, dude won a championship. So like people in the NBA love experience. They love vets. So Bruce Brown, right place, right time, wins a championship, and now gets a big paycheck. So yeah, I don't hate the deal because if they can opt out of it after 1 year, it doesn't matter anyway. So
All right, thank you guys for watching. Those are free agency winners and losers, and just basically our general recap after day one. Hopefully, we'll be back for day two, probably on TikTok or maybe on for another video. But hopefully, some stuff picks up. We see a lot of a blockbuster deal, anything like that. We will be back to react to it. Harden, Paul George. It's been a lot of whispers about Giannis, Joel Embiid, a lot of crazy stuff. You never know. NBA free agency is the best free agency. Always give us a surprise, so we never know what we're gonna see. But hopefully, we can see something big. If you like the content, make sure you subscribe, like the video, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Thank you guys for watching, and we're out.